So you mentioned being interested in philosophies from around the globe, and that's what today's deep dive is all about.
Okay.
We're going to be going straight to ancient India today
Okay.
to uncover kind of like a wisdom nugget from the Tamil literary tradition called the Nadakural.
Okay.
Is that how you pronounce that?
You got it. Yeah.
Nada-
Kandanakran.
Nadakural.
Yeah.
And it's basically a collection of these like super insightful verses
Yes.
that offer guidance on literally everything,
Yeah.
from like ethics and all the way to like governance.
Right. And what's really fascinating about them is that a lot of it was passed down orally
Right.
for generations
Wow.
before they were ever written down.
And that they still hold up today.
And they still resonate. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Mhm.
So we are focusing specifically on chapter 15,
Okay.
which is titled Iruvanri Neutral, which translates to oneness,
Oneness. Yeah.
which I thought was so interesting. Like even just that as a title, it kind of makes you think, like, what does it actually mean
Yeah.
to like experience that unity
Yeah. In a world that
in the world that we live in? Exactly.
yeah, that feels very fragmented often.
Very fragmented.
Yeah. And that's something that Avayar, the poet-philosopher who's behind the Nanakural, that's something they definitely understood.
Right.
Imagine, like, this figure from centuries ago, known for their sharp wit, their insights on life.
Yeah.
The Nanakural is their masterpiece. And in Iruvanri Neutral, they're tackling this head-on.
Okay, so how does it guide us to experiencing this oneness, I guess?
Well, it encourages us to look beyond just the surface differences and to really see our shared humanity. Like
Fair.
there's a verse in this chapter that states, all towns are one, all men are kin.
Wow.
And it's this powerful statement about, recognizing that we're all interconnected.
Right, it's like you were saying, like looking past like
Yeah.
all the things that make us different
Mm-hmm.
and instead looking at that common thread.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I'm curious, are there other like examples or
Yeah.
metaphors that this
Yeah.
author uses?
So Aviyar uses this really evocative image of a tree.
Okay.
And they talk about how its roots and its trunk and its branches and its leaves, they're all distinct. They're all separate parts, but they're also inseparable. Right. They all draw nourishment from the same source
They all have to work together.
to make the tree.
It's this beautiful metaphor for oneness as this interconnectedness, this interdependence.
Right. And it's interesting, too, because it really highlights how our individual differences
Yes.
actually can contribute to a larger whole.
Exactly.
If the tree was just a trunk,
Yeah.
it wouldn't be a tree.
It wouldn't be a tree. It wouldn't survive.
Right, exactly. And that reminds me, actually, I don't know if you're familiar with the concept of Ubuntu.
Yes, I am.
A little bit, yeah. So, and it's interesting because it also talks about how we're all interconnected.
It's very similar. Yeah.
So it's like this idea is not just, relegated to this one.
Yeah, it's a universal
Yeah, right.
human idea. Yeah, that's really, really interesting.
Yeah, and I think another key point is that this oneness, it's not just about social harmony, right?
Okay.
It's also about inner unity.
Oh, okay.
So Iruvanri Neutral suggests that real peace, real fulfillment, it comes from recognizing and accepting every single part of ourselves.
So it's about the oneness inside of us as well as how we interact
It's this recognition that everything's interconnected
with each other.
inside and out.
Yeah.
And that's crucial for personal well-being, societal well-being.
So true personal growth isn't possible without that understanding then.
That's a really good question, and it's something to really think about.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
Because it speaks to how these words from so long ago still have so much power. It's not about easy answers. It's about reflection. It's about thinking how we live, how we interact.
And how we treat other people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How we treat ourselves even.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
And I think that is the beauty
Mm-hmm.
of these ancient texts, is that it does make us
Yes.
kind of stop and think
Yeah, it sparks that reflection.
about these universal truths.
Yeah, and as you go deeper into Iruvanri Neutral, and really just the Nanakural as a whole, it's worth checking out other philosophers who talk about these ideas.
Oh, okay, like who?
Like, Rumi, Thich Nhat Hanh, even Carl Sagan.
Okay.
He talked about our interconnectedness, but on a cosmic scale.
All right.
So there's just so much out there to discover.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the deep dive with me today.
Yeah, it was great to be here.
And I guess we'll see you next time.
See you next time.